Okay, hi everybody. My name is Stephanie Egan, and I am a student at John F. Kennedy University getting my master's in sports psychology. And today what I want to do is I want to talk about goal setting, right? As you can see right there on the slide, we're going to talk about setting goals. And what I love about goal setting is that a lot of people already use this skill. They just don't know that it is a skill and that you can learn it, and there are things that you can do to make your goal setting skills better, to make it more likely for you to achieve whatever goal you've set. And the nice thing is that not only applies to athletes, but it also just applies in your regular daily life. In your professional career, we all set goals. It could be to lose weight, it could be to read 20 books for the year. Whatever it is, we always set goals for ourselves. And so this lecture, this presentation is just to talk about some tips for goal setting, how you can improve your skills, and why is it difficult to set goals, and how we can make that better. So what I want to first do is I want to show you a little clip to get you excited about goal setting. So we're going to watch about 2 minutes of a clip, and hopefully this motivates you and gets you thinking on the right track for goals. So here we go.
So I'm asking you to write it down, and I'm asking you, three quick things, three things. The first one, I'm asking you to write it down, and then I ask you to keep writing it. And I'm not asking you to keep writing it because I'm trying to be deep, right? I'm asking you to keep writing it because the more you write it and the more you see it, the more clear it becomes. And so for some of you, the reason why you quit every year around March, or you quit around June, because you can't see it. Like, I want your dream to be so clear, so vivid, right? That when you wake up in the morning, all you gotta do is step in your dream. When you wake up in the morning, look at your goals. Your goals gonna tell you what time to get up. Are you hearing me? Your goals gonna tell you who you should be hanging out with. And people ask me questions all the time, Eric, should I do this, should I do that? I can't tell you, but your goals gonna tell you. How much sleep do you need? But your goals are going to define what time you get up, how you live your life, how you move, when you say yes, when you say no. Like, when you write your goals down, you will know, nope, can't do it. Yep, that's for me. Are you hearing me? So write it down.
Okay, so that is Eric Thomas. If you have never watched a video from him, I highly recommend it. He's an extremely motivational speaker. And if you love watching highlight clips and that gets you motivated and you're feeling a little low, I highly recommend looking Eric Thomas up. So in that video clip, he's talking about goals, right? How important goals are, and he talks about writing it down, and he keeps saying it over and over, write it down. So like you'll see on the screen, it says an idea is just a dream until you write it down. Then it becomes a goal, right? So we're going to talk about writing goals down and other things that we can suggest to you to help in your goal setting journey to helping you accomplish them. But I just love that video because he really says, your goal is what's going to wake you up. It's going to determine what friends you have. It's going to be the driving force behind everything that you do. So that's why goals are so important. And then also there is Brian Tracy. So he also talked about goals, right? There's a lot of professional athletes that use goals, goal setting. So he says people with clear written goals, right? That written goals again, accomplish far more in a shorter period of time than people without them could ever imagine, right? So that's why it's so important that you not just set the goal for yourself, but that you follow through with it and you commit to it and you write it down and you make it clear. Right, and precise, so that way you know exactly how you're going to accomplish your goal, and then you can do it in a much shorter period of time than somebody that just says, oh, I want to go to the Olympics, right? So we're going to learn about that. Okay, so I want to talk about why we set goals, right? We talked a little bit about it earlier, but I want you to reflect for a minute. Why do you set goals? Right, so some of you might have said to improve performance, right? That's why we set goals a lot of times, because we want to get better at whatever it is. You might have said just because you have something you want to accomplish, that dream that you have, right? We all have a dream. Part of that is goal setting. Maybe it's to help you improve confidence. There's many different things that for reasons why we set goals. But I really want you to remember why, whatever you said your why was, because your why really determines how persistent you're going to be and how you're going to stick to that goal. So you always want to know the why behind what you're doing. So we're going to do a little activity, right? So now that you know why you set goals, let's try to set a goal. So on your handout, what you'll see is that there's a nice big blank spot for you. And it says, draw a picture of one goal that you've set for yourself, right? It could be a personal or it could be an athletic goal, depending on what it is you want to do. But I just want you to take about a minute to write down, draw a picture of what your goal is, right? It could be you holding a trophy. And then I just want you to, in the lines below, describe what your goal is, and include any details that you might want. So go ahead and take a minute to do that. Okay, hopefully that gave you enough time. If not, don't worry about it. You can always come back to it. But you should at least have, a couple, one sentence on there and at least some kind of picture. So just hold on to that paper, hold on to your handout. We will come back to it in a little bit. But now I just want to talk about the definition of a goal, right? We all kind of know about goal setting because I think when you grow up, you know about goals, right? That to set goals, especially as an athlete. But the specific definition is an objective aim of action defined as attaining a specific standard of proficiency on a task, and it's usually set in some kind of time frame, a specified time. So that's really breaking it down, right? Whatever your term is for what a goal is, what it means to you, use that definition. But I just wanted to make sure that you knew what it specifically is, right? So an aim of action defined as attaining a specific standard for a proficiency task. Okay, so now we know what goals is, we know why we set them. Let's talk about the benefits of goals, right? So we all know that goals are beneficial, but let's talk about something in detail. Let's know the research behind it, right? We want to know the facts. So Locke and Latham in 1981 did a research study, and they found that goal setting actually increases performance in 4 different ways. Okay, so number 1 is that it directs attention. Okay, number 2 is that it can mobilize effort. It can increase persistency. And the last is that it can employ or help you to learn a new skill, strategies. So directing attention, right? If you have a goal and you now write it down, right? Because writing it down is so important. It's going to help you to know what direction you need to do. It's going to be able to help you focus all of your attention on that one goal, right? And whatever you do is going to help you to achieve that end goal. So directing attention, right? 2, mobilizing effort, right? So if you know that you've set a goal for yourself, you are going to put effort into it, right? You're going to be motivated. You're going to want to try to achieve that goal. It's almost like a challenge in some ways, and that's going to help you put in more effort to whatever it is. 3rd, increase persistence. All right, so if you have a goal, you're going to be more persistent. You're going to write it down, you're going to look at it every day, and you're going to say, I need to get this accomplished, right? And you're going to persist through whatever struggles that you have, you are going to persist through them in order to accomplish your goal, okay? Number 4, implore, learn a new skill. So let's just think about, it was the new year recently, and how many of you set a New Year's resolution, right? I know I did. How many of you have not followed through on that New Year's resolution, right? Because those are goals. Those are goals that we want to set out for ourselves. But you probably also have achieved some of those New Year's resolutions that you wanted to do. So for an example, people will say, I want to learn to play the guitar, right? So that's a goal that you set out for yourself. There's steps to help you get to that goal. And by setting that goal, you're learning something new, right? So it's always good to set goals and to set a goal of learning something new in your life, whatever that might be. Okay, so now we have some research to back up why we set goals and benefits. So let's talk about, why is it so hard to keep that New Year's resolution? Why is it so hard to keep those goals that you have set for yourself, right? I know I've struggled with them. I know every athlete has struggled with maintaining goals, and even non-athletes, right? We all have a hard time. So here are some things about why goals are so hard to keep to. So one is you might set too many goals, right? You might say, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to learn to play the guitar. You could say, I want to go to the Olympics. I want to go join a new gym. Like there's just a lot of different goals that you set out for yourself that might not be as easy to do all at the same time, right? You might have to do one by one by one, and as you accomplish them, check them off. So don't set too many. Number two, too general, right? We might just say, I want to win the game. Okay, well, that's not being very specific, right? You got to be specific in your goals. Don't be vague, be very specific. So don't make it, we set goals that are too general a lot of times. Third, unrealistic, right? So you might set a goal for yourself, and that could be, I want to go to the Olympics and be a swimmer. I want to swim like Michael Phelps at the Olympics. Well, I'm not even a swimmer, so that's not really realistic. It's not a realistic goal for me to set out for myself. So you have to make sure that it is realistic, right? We also don't stick to goals a lot of times because we set outcome goals only. So we'll talk about what an outcome goal is coming up, but a lot of times we just think about the end goal. We don't set goals, smaller goals, to build up to that big one. So you really want to be careful with the goals that you're setting. No support. So a lot of times we don't have support. We need somebody to keep us accountable. Yes, we can keep ourselves accountable, and that's great. But a lot of times if you have a goal that's 1 year out, even 6 months, you need to have support. You need to have somebody reminding you, hey, are you sticking to your goal? Did you accomplish this goal? And evaluating yourself. So make sure you have support. Friends, family, coach, spouse, whoever it is, make sure you got a support team. Time commitment. We don't realize how long goals can take, right? We need to be patient with goals. So realize that it's not going to happen overnight. And just know that you have to be committed over a long period of time. And we don't understand that all the time when we set those goals for ourselves. And then lastly, we set only a certain type of goal, right? So we set a technique goal, we set an outcome goal, performance goal, and we only set one type. We need to make sure that we're doing multiple types, because all the types of goals put together are what's going to help you to achieve that big goal at the end. All right, so let's now talk about, I mentioned outcome goals, I mentioned performance goals, and now I just want to tell you a little bit specifically about what those goals are, okay? So let's go with outcome goal first. So an outcome goal is related to the results of a competition. So that means I want to win first place in CIF today, at the end of the year. Or I want to win the gold medal at the Olympics, or I want to win the NBA championship. Those are all outcome goals because it's a result of a competition. These goals are more challenging because it depends on other people, right? It depends on environmental factors, the opponent. So a lot of other things that go into being able to achieve that outcome goal. So that's why it's more challenging, okay? So that's what an outcome goal is, the results of a competition. Next goal is a performance goal. All right, so performance goal is related strictly to your performance, and this is much more in the athlete's control, right? That's what I want you to remember, is that you have control over the performance goal. So I'm going to use golf as an example. It's a sport I've recently gotten into and I really enjoy. So performance goal would be, maybe I can hit the ball 150 yards, but I want to be able to hit the ball 200 yards. So I might say I want to improve, my ability to hit the ball 50 more yards, right? So I want to hit the ball 200 yards. That is a performance goal because I have control. Maybe it's I need to go to the gym. Maybe it's I need to increase my speed of my swing in order to hit the ball, right? A little bit harder, a little bit farther. So it's a performance goal that I have control over because it's based on me, my performance. Okay? So you want to set performance goals because that's going to help you to achieve, right, your outcome goal. If I become a better golfer and I can hit the ball 200 yards instead of 150, my outcome goal, I'm that much closer to achieving that first place win. Okay, next thing, process goals, right? So process goals are even more under your control, right? And that's even better. That's what we want. So with a process goal, you are focusing on a particular skill. Okay, so this particular skill could be, for example, keeping my eye on the ball, right? Keeping my eye on the golf ball. Because maybe what I'm doing is the last second, I'm taking my eye off, and so it's causing me, to slow my swing speed down, and I'm not hitting the ball as far, right? So that is a process goal. I want to be able to keep my eye on the ball at all times. So that is something, breaking it down even further, right? So you set that process goal, and then you set that performance goal, and then you set that outcome goal. And by achieving each one, not only are you going to build confidence because you've achieved a goal, you're going to build motivation, right? And then you're going to be that much more likely to achieve that outcome goal. Okay, so those are the big 3 types of goals that you need to be able to set. Second thing I want to talk about is the duration. So we have long-term goals, we have short-term goals, and we even have daily goals. So the long-term goal is a future goal, right? So this could be, I'm going to win the PGA Tour, right? And the PGA Tour, for example, let's just say, is 1 year out, right? That's a future goal, that's my long-term goal, and that's my outcome goal, right? Long-term and outcome usually go together, not always, but a lot of times they do, because that outcome goal, that end thing, is so far out. That's in the future. Second, short-term goals, right? So the short-term goals are going to be in a shorter period of time. That might be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever it is. It's going to be in a shorter period of time. Those can be related to all different kinds of goals, but just remember that it's the duration is shorter, right? Shorter weeks, not maybe in a year. Then we have daily goals. Daily goals are awesome, and you probably already do a daily goal every day anyways, but a daily goal is just doing it each day at a time, right? So you're setting that daily goal. Let's say my daily goal is to keep my eye on the ball, or my daily goal is to go to the gym 2 hours, right? Today I'm going to the gym for 2 hours. I'm going to do 30 minutes of cardio on the treadmill, right? So that's my daily goal that I have set out for myself. And those daily goals are going to lead you to be able to achieve your shorter term goal, and then of course to get to that long term goal, right? So you have to set different duration time frames. Okay, so now we know the types of goals. So let's talk about the SMART guidelines, because this is the most important part of goal setting. This is really going to take your goal setting skills to the next level. So for goal setting, we have a mnemonic code, right? And it starts with S-M-A-R-T, spells out SMART. Okay, so the first S is specific, right? So we don't want to be general, right? And that's one of the problems that people have. That's why it's hard to keep a goal, is because we're too general. So you want to be specific and not vague, right? Nail it down. Give every detail that you absolutely can about your goal, and it will be easier to follow and accomplish. Okay, 2. The M is for measurable, right? So when I set my goal, I want to be able to hit the golf ball 200 yards, right? So that is measurable, because if I'm hitting the ball, if I measure in 2 weeks, I'm saying, oh, I just hit the ball 175 yards. Okay, well now I know I only need 25 more yards. So whatever else I have to do to get that 25 extra yards is what I'm going to do. So that's making it measurable, right? Okay, next is adjustable, the A, right? So lots of things happen in life, right? We have to be flexible. Sometimes we set a goal for ourselves, we don't realize that we can't accomplish it. Or we realize that, I want to tweak it here or there, maybe I want to change the distance a little bit. Actually, it's a little bit too easy. So you want to adjust it to and be flexible with it, right? It's okay if you change your goal throughout your journey. That is why we have the adjustable, right? Make sure that you can adjust the goal. R, okay, R is for realistic, right? So let's go back to when I said I want to go to the Olympics, I want to be Michael Phelps, a swimmer. Well, that's probably not very realistic for me to accomplish, because I'm not a very good swimmer, and I'm probably not going to make it to the Olympics because I haven't trained, right? Olympics are this year. That's not going to happen. So set realistic goals, okay? Make sure you can accomplish it. Last thing, timed, T. Okay, this goes with realistic. Timed is so important. We don't oftentimes give ourselves a time frame. If you have a goal, you need to say, I'm going to accomplish this in 6 weeks. I'm going to accomplish this one in 2 weeks, right? And it's okay if you don't, because you can adjust it, right? That's the A, adjustable. But make sure you put a time frame in there, whatever it is. In 1 year, I want to win the PGA competition. Okay, so put in a time frame for yourself. All right, so that is the specifics for that SMART guideline. So what I want to talk about last, okay, is a guideline for goal setting, okay, and this is just giving you a little bit more tips here and there. So what I want you to know about goal setting is that the goal should be difficult, okay, don't make it too easy for yourself. Make sure it's a little bit challenging, okay, make sure that you include the duration, the different types, right, the outcome, the performance goals, right, make sure that you're setting practice versus competition goals. You can have different goals for different events. Okay, make sure they're positive, right? Everything we do in sports psychology is about positivity. So make sure you're saying positive. Don't put the don'ts in there. Put the will do's, all right? Write them down, right? Write those goals down like Eric Thomas said. Make sure you write it down. Make sure you post it somewhere that you can remember where that goal is. You can look at it every day. Make sure you have support, and make sure you're evaluating yourself, right? Go back and look. I didn't accomplish that goal in the time frame I did. Let me adjust it. Let me evaluate why I did it, right? That evaluation and reflection is so key in being able to continue with your goal setting journey. Okay, so what I want you to do last is I want you to go back now, right? We just did a little summary about some tips about SMART guideline principle. I want you to go back to your handout. And what I want you to do is just to rewrite your goal, right? For that number 3, revise your goal, okay? Add in those things that you just learned, the SMART principles, right? Is it difficult? Is it a practice goal? Is it a competition goal? Where are you going to post this at? You know, are you using outcome and performance goals? So make sure you go back and you rewrite that last couple sentences that you wrote for number 2 on number 3. Okay, and I know that that's going to be able to change and make your goal more effective for you to follow. And I hope that you took a lot from this about goal setting, and I hope that you set some great goals for yourself for the rest of this year and you're able to accomplish them. Thank you.